kids right now. But if we did, it would look like one of these fools up here. So she despises this photo, so that means I have to put this photo in here. It doesn't trips me up. That's hilarious. All right, so we don't have kids, but I am the proud little father of 2 little baby kitties, Lucy and Flora. I freaking love cats. I love my cats so much, and you'll see them in my artwork from time to time. I have pizza space cat stickers here that I'll be handing out tomorrow. I forgot them today. But anyway, I love my little babes. And for those of you who don't know, I have been creating under the name Perspective Collective for over 3 years now. And it's just been a side project. This whole thing is a side project. And what you don't know is that I do have a day job too. I hustle at a day job. I do UX, UI design, graphic design. So I pour my heart and soul into this side project every morning before I go to work, and I put something into it every night when I come home. Like, I love this. And what I love creating the most is hand lettering and illustrations. So like, I've been whipping up illustrations ever since I could lift a crayon. And I fell in love with hand lettering about 4 years ago, and I really want to find a way that I can combine both of them, tell a deep narrative and story, put pizza in it, put cats in it. It is what it is. And again, slight obsession is that I love pizza. I love pizza art. It reminds me to not take myself too serious, and I'm going to step up here right now, because my pizza game is always stronger than all of you. So I got pepperoni socks on right now. I got pizza on my phone. Set that over here so I don't break it. And I got my pizza pen. So I stay cheesy. But what I'm most proud of today is the Perspective Podcast. And today is actually my 1-year anniversary. This shit's a trip, for real. I was so scared. It took me like 5 months to nut up and put out an episode. It was the scariest thing I've ever done. But this show exists to encourage people like you to make time to build something for yourself. We all got day job commitments, relationships, so find a way to do something that's for you. And this show also exists to help you get through those times when you do feel invisible. So check it out at perspectivepodcast.com or wherever podcasts live. All right, so I mentioned I felt invisible for the majority of my life, and one of the main reasons was because I was that little chunky 4th grader up there in the left with pudding on his mouth, and I got picked on, bullied, beat up. Like, I was the kid with glasses, bowl cut, braces. True story, I rocked my first pair of JNCOs when they weren't cool, and everybody made fun of me, but if you look at it, JNCOs look ridiculous. Like, who wants to put a laptop in their pocket? So growing up, I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be popular so badly because I got picked on. I hated who I was. And I became an expert at people pleasing. So I was that kid growing up who thought he was pizza. And that goes into my first point, is that you cannot make everyone happy. You are not pizza. So think about it. With pizza, you can tailor it to anybody's preferences. You got it for gluten-free. You can make it for vegans. I keep it pretty regular. I like the pepperoni. And just to be honest, if you don't like pizza, I don't trust you. That's the same kind of person who won't put chips on their sandwich. Like, what is your problem? But the funny thing about pizza is it actually reminds me of a story of strawberry ice cream. So, random, but stick with me. So when I was in 3rd grade, we were in the library, and there was this girl that all of us were in love with. Her name was Christine, and that was my first true crush from 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And so we're going around the circle, and we're all asking each other what our favorite ice cream is. So little Timmy, he led off, he likes chocolate. We got little Johnny up next, he likes vanilla. It keeps going in rotation, and it lands on Christine, and she likes strawberry ice cream. And you better believe I was taking notes and paying attention. I needed to know what she liked. So we kept going in rotation. It got on little Tiffany, and she started switching things up. She liked orange creamsicle. Then little Lucy was up next. She got funky. She liked Neapolitan. And it keeps going in rotation, and it lands on little old me. And before the teacher can even finish asking, "Hey Scotty, what's your favorite ice cream?" I lose it. It spills out of me, and I'm just like, I love strawberry ice cream so much. It's my favorite. I love it as well. I love strawberry ice cream. And of course, I sounded like a jackass. Everybody was laughing at me, and Christine over in the corner was not impressed. And what was sad about this is that I'm a vanilla dude. I keep it regular. I hate strawberry ice cream. I don't like the texture. I don't like the seeds. And the point I'm trying to make is that this was the first time in my life I can vividly remember me trying to be a people pleaser, and that I needed to be better at it. And so as I got older, I got way good at people pleasing, and it ended up spilling over into my work. And so I was the kind of guy, I needed you not only to love me, but I needed you to love the work that I put out as well to make me feel worthwhile. And the thing about this is that when you try to create for everyone, you make it extremely hard for your work to resonate with someone. And all it takes is one person at a time. And the bitter, hard pill for me to swallow was that not everyone's gonna love you. And in fact, there's gonna be people out there that hate you and they hate your work. And we've all dealt with a hater. And haters are the people, it's so much easier to tear something down than it is to put in the time, the effort, the courage to build something for yourself. So as long as there's going to be people out there that can hate you and hate your work, because there is, that leaves plenty of other people on this emoji planet that can love you and love your work. And one of the traps that I fell in was that I felt worthwhile when I caught a feature. I got likes and followers. You know, I got that huge high if one of my drawings took off. And I needed that same high to feel worthwhile. And it got me to the point where I fell into this trap of that I thought my work defined my worth. And it doesn't. And you guys gotta know right now that your identity is not defined by the success of what you create. I'll say it one more time. Your identity is not defined by the success of what you create. So what I'm kicking out under Scotty, or under Perspective Collective, you know, and how well a shitty performs does not reflect on who I am as the human being of Scotty Russell. And what's crazy about this is so many of us get wrapped up in these meaningless metrics and feeling like that defines our success. But I like to see it this way. When you go that route, to me, I feel like you're entering into this endless boxing match that is impossible for you to win. It's like you're stepping into the ring, never throwing a punch before, going against Ali, Tyson, Mayweather. I thought about putting Conor McGregor in there, but I don't know if anybody would get that. No? All right. But anyway, once in a while you might sneak around it. You might feel really good about yourself, you know, catch that high because you got a feature, you got a couple hundred followers in the night. But you have to keep chasing that same high to feel worthwhile, and that's when these dudes come in here and they kick your ass to the curb. So your work does not define your worth, and I feel one of the best ways to get people to love you and love your work is by staying true to yourself and staying in your own lane. And what I mean by staying in your own lane is producing work that you think is dope and that you're enthusiastic about. And I believe over time, you're gonna find out two things. So one, by staying in your own lane, you're going to attract the right people to your audience. Because people are attracted to those who are passionate about something, so when you continue to show up for your heart, your soul, your energy, your experiences, your DNA, your story, your vulnerability into your work, people are gonna be attracted to it because like attracts like. You know, the universe will take care of you with that. And I think the second thing that you're going to learn over time is that you'll be able to develop your own voice and your own unique style. And as you see, we live in a world where everybody is copying and ripping each other's shit. By staying in your own lane, I think this is how you're going to stand out. So stay in your own lane and own it. Take a quick drink real quick. So comparison. Outside of me thinking I needed to be pizza my entire life, one of the things I struggled with the worst was comparison, you know, and it robbed me of my joy, something that my homie Teddy Roosevelt said, and it's so true. Comparison robbed me of the joy most when I was in college and upon graduating college when I got dumped into the real world. So when I went to college, I thought I had this opportunity to reinvent myself because I was this loser back in the day, and I wanted to break this perception, break this stigma, and become this amazing football player, graduate with a dope portfolio, and land these amazing clients. And honestly, none of that happened. It was the complete opposite. So I played college football. I blew my back out not once, but twice my sophomore year, and I had to give up on my dream. And it was robbed from me, and I became this victim. And upon graduation, I thought I had an awesome portfolio, and it sucked. I went into the real world, and I couldn't get a job in graphic design for over 3 years. Like, it was miserable. And here I am seeing all of my friends land these amazing jobs with agencies and with awesome freelance clients, and all I had to show for what I went to school for was this mountain pile of private student loan debt and living back home with my parents. So I know what student loan debt is. It's buried by it every day, I feel you. And I did get a job though. I was serving at a restaurant smelling like tenderloins each day. And I was extremely out of shape. I hated the way I looked. I hated the way I felt. And the summer of 2010 was the point where I not only contemplated giving up on my creativity, but I thought about taking my life that summer. I was miserable. I had nothing to live for. I had nothing to offer the world compared to what I saw everybody else doing. And it robbed me. Like, it was the saddest, lowest moment of my life. But there was light at the end of the tunnel. I'm here right now sharing my story with you guys today. And when you feel invisible, there's light at the end of the tunnel for you too. And so I got my ass back into the gym. Started working out, building some self-confidence, started competing with myself, stopped worrying about what other people were doing. I finally caught a break. I landed finally my first graphic design job, and I started Perspective Collective in the same week. And honestly, something in me changed. A switch flipped. I became a fucking savage. I became so dedicated and obsessed to pouring into my dream, into myself, and showing that I was capable to all those people who told me no. But to this day, something I still deal with is comparison, and those comparison monsters, as Lenny said, and I know you guys all deal with it too. But you gotta realize that your beginning is not compared to someone else's middle. So you can't compare it. So I'm the one, I find I compare myself most to people like the Gemma O'Briens, the Draplins, the Brian Steeleys, the Tad Carpenters. And it's not fair to me. You know, I get paralyzed because they are these ungodly people who are doing amazing things, and I feel like I can never touch them. But that's where people like you and me need to realize we're all on our own creative paths at a different destination. Like, no path is the same. Just because they're doing it this way doesn't mean we have to. So this is your permission slip. I want all of you guys to give yourself a break, and I'm talking to myself too right now. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a break, because if you show up each day and you pour some type of effort into who you are as a human and into your work, then you deserve a break, because you're doing the best you can with what you have. And what you have right now is enough. Okay? You don't need the fanciest tools. You don't need the fanciest equipment. Be resourceful. Use your imagination. And putting those together, you can make so much shit happen for you. It's insane. And getting paralyzed by comparison and perfection, I get it. It makes you not want to show your work, because, oh my God, these people are so amazing. But it takes a lot of shitty work to get to your best work. I mean, a lot of bad work. Like, I put out so much work in a year. Like, with my podcast, I try to make an episode with it, try to put something out weekly or every other week. So by the end of the year, I have a lot of work, but there's really only 5 to 8 pieces that, man, I feel like I crushed it, and I'm proud of. And you gotta realize that doing something is always better than doing nothing, because your 70, 80, 90% always trumps someone's 0%. So give yourself a break and put out your work. And do something like I do. Compete with yourself. So this doesn't necessarily just mean in the gym. This is where it was born for me. This is where I learned this mentality. But what I mean by competing with yourself is focusing on what you can control. Everything that's within your circle of influence right now. And make that shit fun. Find something you're good at, something that you love, and something you can pour yourself into each day. And by competing with yourself, you become the best version of yourself and better than that person you were yesterday. Like me, I need things to be fun. I am the most competitive person you will ever meet, and I need to win. That's why you don't see me playing golf or disc golf. I suck, so I don't play sports I can't win. But adapting this mentality of competing with yourself, I encourage you to try it. So when you get wrapped up in, whoops, there we go. There's more cats. We'll get to it. So when you do get wrapped up in envy and comparison, I got a simple trick for you, and it's all about celebrating others. And I had my good friend, my brother Bob Ewing, on the podcast, episode 30 back in March. He dropped a gold nugget that when, let's say he's on dribble, and he stumbles across someone's work that triggers this envy or comparison, he'll analyze what makes him feel this way, and then he'll simply share it. You know, Dribble makes it really easy to share it through Twitter, and not only is he making himself feel better and celebrating this with his audience, but he's pouring something positive into our community. And God, no, we need this. If you're on Twitter like I'm on, you see these Twitter beefs and designers tagging to designers, and it's absolutely whack. So I want to challenge you guys to figure out ways to celebrate other people and pour yourself into this design community and lift people up. So Cats. Earlier, I said this talk was born out of my more recent creative funk. And this was this past winter. And going into the new year, we all want to start the year off with a huge bang. And this year was the complete opposite. Again, I was out of shape, been drinking and partying way too much this winter. Holiday foods got me. I was eating way too much pizza. And leading up to the new year, I had my first surgery. And I was terrified. I've never had surgery. Like, I'm scared to get my wisdom teeth pulled, and I still haven't. But it was a pretty extensive surgery on my throat and my nose. And it was a miserable recovery. I was isolated in a recliner for 24 hours a day. Could barely breathe, sleep, eat, talk. Might be TMI, but I could barely go to the bathroom either. Like, it was rough. And what I thought I did have going for me was that I scheduled a queue of episode series all about the value of side projects going to the new year. You know, everybody wants a New Year's resolution. I thought this was going to be a hit. I had some dope episode artwork to go with it, and it all flopped. Crickets. And I got beating myself up again because I wanted to be pizza. I was letting my work define my worth. But what really happened that compounded this all was that I was doped up out of my mind on Oxy. Okay, I was like heavy painkillers from, trying to recover from this, and I should have been just resting and taking it easy, but I'm still putting my stuff out there. But it got me to the point where, man, I felt like shit. I was doubting Perspective Collective, like I should just quit, which is crazy, but I was pouring my heart and soul into something only to feel so crappy, like why would I do this to myself? And eventually I just got fed up with it, and I sought out my wife, and I had the hard conversation, letting her know that I don't feel like myself, I don't feel like Scotty, I don't know what's going on with me, but I need to figure it out. And that wasn't the quick fix, but it gave me the courage to continue the conversation. So I sought out some of my guys in my mastermind group, and then eventually that gave me the courage to put out episode 25 of the podcast, You Are Not Alone, which brought it here today. And that episode came out on a Wednesday, and the feedback I kept getting from people each day was letting me know that they needed to know they weren't alone, that they appreciate me being a human, and that it was okay to not feel okay. And on that Saturday, I got a random phone call from Diane Gibbs. Diane Gibbs took a couple minutes out of her day that day just to call me, and she was my light. It was the final measure that pulled me out of this dark hole, and it meant the world to me. She made me feel not invisible that day. And you guys all know Diane. Diane is the light of what a design cheerleader should be. She pours herself into this community, and if we could just give her a round of applause real quick for what she does. Diane, but anyway, I should have named this last point I want to talk with, be Diane, but be the light. All right, be the light within these dark times. Like, look at all the shit that's going on in this world right now. Look what's happening in Virginia. Like, it's bullshit. It makes me so sad. And the fact that designers can attack other designers right now, like, that is pathetic. Why would you stir the pot when there's enough shit going on in this world? So what I mean by being the light is that you all have this ability to pour yourself into someone else, let someone else be seen, let someone else feel worthwhile, and let people not feel invisible. And it takes a matter of seconds to radically make an impact on someone. It's crazy what a few words can do. Like, homeboy over here, I said I liked your shirt earlier. I didn't have to say shit, but I did. I liked it. Hopefully put a little pep in your step for the rest of the day. But one thing I did learn from this is that when you're going through these moments of invisibility, accept that you're a human. Like, at the end of the day, despite these labels that are put on us, like race, religion, cultural, political stances, like, all that is a label made to divide us. Like, we're team human. At the end of the day, we all bleed the same blood. I know a lot of people go through more shit than I do, but I want you to know I'm here and I see you as an equal to me. And something else I'm learning is that it's okay to not always feel okay. Especially for me, I grew up thinking I needed to play it cool, I needed to play it tough in order for you to like me, and I'm a positive person. And I realized that I don't always have to be positive. Like, I was the one who would bottle all this shit up within me, and it would tear me down, but I would tell everybody it was fine. So while it's okay to not always feel okay, I know that was me. I wish it was a cat though. But while it's okay to not feel okay, it's not okay to bury it in deep inside you, let it tear you down, and then take it out on other people like I used to do. So one thing I want to encourage you to do that's really hard as a creative is have the hard conversation, be vulnerable, and talk it out. As creatives, we don't like talking about our emotions and feelings. I know I don't. Like, it makes me feel weird. It makes me feel super weird, but again, it's therapeutic. It's very therapeutic for me. I wouldn't have got through this last dark time if it wasn't for me talking it out. And talking things out allows me to put myself in a position to win that war that's waging in my head each day. It makes the game winnable, and it makes me connect with people like you, let you know that we're all human. Like, this gives me a stage to talk and share about this stuff. So as I wrap things up, the 3 ways you can fight back when you feel invisible is 1, you're not pizza, all right? Realize that comparison is a thief, and be the light for other people. So as we wrap up Weapons tomorrow, like, we go to conferences, we get this high. Like, we all go home high, warm and fuzzies, but it's like, what are you gonna do? As the last dude said, you gotta act on this shit. You gotta act on it. So I believe buried within each and every one of us is this untapped creative potential. For real, like, all of you guys have greatness within you. And I want it for you so badly, but honestly, you gotta want it for yourself. You gotta believe in yourself that it's possible, because it is. If I can come up here from where I'm at, from tiny little town in Iowa, like, you're all way more capable than that. So what we do is hard. I get it. We put ourselves out there to be seen, scrutinized, knocked down, but we also have the best job on this damn planet. Like, we create for a living. Woo! We create for a living. We're so lucky. So when shit gets hard, you get knocked down. Rise up to the challenge. You know, be the light for other people. Stay in your own lane. And stop comparing and start celebrating other people. And at the end of the day, always remember that you are not alone and you are not invisible. Thanks, y'all.
Y'all give it up. Come on now. Scotty Russell.
Hey, Lenny, will you get up here and take a photo of me and my friends?
Yeah. You know all their names, right?
I will by the end of the night. Like, I'm ready to party. All right, sorry if I'm blocking anyone out, but can we get a 3, 2, 1? What?
What the hell was that? You sound like you're on a kiddie roller coaster.
All right, let's amp it up. Okay.
3, 2, 1.